And I think it's really good. All right, so we are live tonight, and this is Boss Babe with Connection number 202 on the correct booking approach. Woohoo! And so we're going to take a little different turn tonight with bookings, okay? Because we have all different skill levels in here. So, so we're going to take a little different approach. But before we jump in, who can tell me what is Mary Kay's correct booking approach?
Question.
That would actually be warm chatting, like getting their names, giving a, but yeah, I mean, that would be like trying to book them.
I don't understand the question.
No, there is such a thing as Mary Kay's correct booking approach. Do y'all know what it is?
No, and Google it.
It's a trick question. It's not a trick question, but we will come back to that in a minute. So that's interesting. And I'll be honest, you guys, when I saw the agenda, because this was I had taken this from, you know, I gather stuff. I don't always create stuff. And so I was like, Mary Kay's correct booking approach. I'm like, what is that? So I did have to Google it myself. But I did know what it was. I just hadn't heard it called that. So that might be the same thing. All right, so but let's go. Okay, so tonight is about booking. Bookings, of course, you guys have heard, booking is the lifeline of your business. So if you have bookings, you are
in business.
And if you don't have bookings, you are
collecting
unemployment. Okay. All right, so I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have been posting some Voxer messages, and I posted number 3 today. There's a total of 9. And I would highly recommend whatever level you're at in your Mary Kay business, that you take the time to listen to them. They're short. They're like anywhere from like 4 to 6 minutes. So like if I can listen to them in between making deliveries, y'all can listen to them. Yes.
Can I have a handout so I can write on it? I don't have any extra paper here yet.
That'd be good.
Okay.
Because you can read ahead. And you already got holes. Oh, there we go. Okay. So bookings are the lifeline of your business. So how many of you guys have or know where you could find a booking script? Like you could find a booking script. How many of y'all feel like you know the words to say to book? Oh,
I've got my scripts.
Okay, so how many of y'all are more comfortable calling? You like to call? Who likes to call?
The last 3 days.
I like to
Yeah.
All right, what changed? Why now?
Because I started collecting unemployment. I lost my red jacket. Keep it real.
You didn't lose it.
Yeah, I have a great opportunity.
You know exactly where it went.
Okay, you're correct. I was finding it in bookings in the last 2 days.
Okay, so y'all have grown to like booking or just making phone calls. Yes. Okay.
Also, when you text, you're waiting on a response. When you call, you either get the voicemail and you can still text them. Hey, I left you a little quick message.
Yeah.
You know, just like the booking script says.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna change it.
So get this. I was listening to a director of Voxer today, and this director had gathered information with all, she's close to becoming a national, and she gathered all this information just from people that she'd been coaching with, working with, building their business. They were, you know, different consultants that were working on different goals, in DIQ, you know, on targets for cars, and what was the common thing among all of them when they did not hit a goal? And that's what the Voxer message was about. Like, what was the, like, what can we do? Like, what's the common theme here with all these women not hitting their goal for a specific night? Or even if they might have hit like a big recruiting, like, well, recruited 5 people, when they went back and evaluated their actual activities, the thing across the board is that 95% of them, if not like 98, 99%, she said it was the lack of their activity, their faces. Never matched their goal. Never matched their goal. So even when they recruited, like NAFTA had a big recruiting month, added team members, they would go back and look at the number of faces they did, and it did not match the goal that they had set. It was still like lack of activity. So you know how we sometimes get those like woohoo accident recruits. They're not accidents, but you know, like where the odds are in favor of us versus working the numbers. And it's almost like when you get those favors, then it gives you kind of permission to not have to do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, we all act like that. I mean, we all. So don't think you're all by yourself if you're the only one like not doing the activity. But but that was the common theme, okay? So then it's like, okay, so why are we not hitting the faces? What
Not
comes
doing
before
the
the faces?
dials, the booking, the attempts, we're not doing the attempts. the
Right,
action.
right. We're not doing the booking or the booking attempts. And so, so I'm going to share with you guys, there's 3 reasons why we may or may not book, okay? And I want you guys to write all 3 down, and then we'll decide, we got to figure out where we are and where we are dropping the ball, where we're getting off the line, so to speak. Okay, so the first one is skill. Skill, you got to have skills. Skills are teachable. And that's what I was kind of trying to ask, like, what do you prefer? What do you like? And so skills can be anywhere. Like, some of you guys love the 10 attempts every single day. I don't care for that one. I like to have a day off. So, I mean, so whether it's 10 attempts every single day, or if it's 3 days a week, booking until you know, for 2 hours, or 1 booking a day, Monday through Friday, you know, whatever it is, you've got to have your skill and have your, actually, I think I jumped ahead of myself. That would actually be the second one. But the skill, you got to know what to say. And I think we do a pretty good job in the Mary Kay world. I think almost we may have too many scripts. And it's really funny because the scripts that I keep inside mine, you guys, I haven't changed them. Even though I know Leah's come out with scripts, I know there's been other scripts, I still use, I don't even know where these came from.
The colored ones.
But these were the original colored ones that were originally launched with the 21 day booking. I come back to these. These are the ones I use. And so I don't know if you guys jump around. I know we tweak them, that kind of stuff, which is fine. But you got to have your, you know, the skill and have the main ones. And we're going to come back to skills here in just a second. All right. The second reason is if you're not doing the skills, is lack of time management. Okay. So number 2 would be time management. Are you scheduling the time? And that was actually the number 2 on the Boxer, if y'all were listening to him about you have, or maybe it might have been the first one. You have to schedule a time. Y'all, it's not going to happen. And you know, the booking's the first thing that's going to go out the window. I mean, y'all agree?
Yes.
Like if you have a list of to-dos, that is like at the bottom, unless you're in DIQ. But even that, you probably still, it's a fight. It's a fight. But time management and just, are you actually scheduling the time to do the work? And that's what I was saying. Do you have what works for you and your schedule and your family? Is it a little bit every day? Is it like 3 times a day? Is it, you know, book until I get a booking? You know, what is it that works for you, your family, your schedule? That would be time management. If you're, and sometimes you might even have to go to a step further. Like if you really need to buckle down and get something done with your bookings, like commit to doing something for the week and give yourself a reward at the end. That would also be time management, fitting it in and rewarding yourself, or not allowing yourself something if you didn't get it done. Okay, I mean seriously, like you can't go get your nails done until your booking calls are done, or you do something like that.
Or you can't talk to your kids until the booking's done. That's what I did the other day. I was like, everybody out. And I was like, I'll come out in just a minute.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I came out, I was like, 3 bookings, high fives to everybody.
And you know what? You're teaching them to respect you and your business.
Oh, yeah.
Huge.
I didn't even let the dog come in.
All right, and then the third one is emotional management. So maybe you've set the time aside, but are you emotionally strong enough to commit? And they kind of intertwine, but are you emotionally good to where you can make sure you talk yourself in to doing it, like actually picking up the phone? That would be the emotional part, or sending the text message. Okay, so we'll get to that in a minute. So those are the 3 areas. So you don't have to answer out loud unless you'd like to. So my question to you guys is, of those 3, the skills, the time management, or the emotional part of it, where do you think you're dropping the ball? Or where is it that you feel maybe that's the weakest link might be the better way to put that? And so, I mean, does anyone want to share, or y'all?
Time management's always.
Oh, really? Really?
Not always, but that and the emotional. I'm a hard person. I cry about all kinds of stuff, which there's nothing wrong with that. That's who I am. But
So are you talking about
the time management? I'm I used to, when I earned a free car, I would put in orange home time. And I did it.
You stuck to it. Always.
I stuck to it and I put it up on my mirror so I could see, oh, I don't have enough home time.
Okay.
So I looked at it, you know, while I was getting ready and stuff. Yeah.
So if you're scheduling time and you put it on there and then we don't hold that time, what do you think that does to us?
That's right.
Oh, I beat myself up.
Then
It's just a bad cycle.
it's a huge bad
Yeah.
cycle because then now it's no longer time management. Now you're not a woman of your word. You're not keeping to this, and then it
And
starts
then
that
becomes
whole
emotional management because
Yeah.
I'm putting myself down.
yeah, and then you're on the wheel.
Yeah.
And then probably nothing happens, and then another day goes by, another week goes by.
And then you get in the 10 by 10 challenge and you have to. Then you start feeling really good again.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I can fit this in my schedule. And then the challenge is over and
So what does that tell you guys maybe about us a little bit? I mean, what is
that
that?
really emotional.
what got you off the
The
wheel?
excitement.
The
The
activity,
accountability.
the accountability. The dirty word out in the world, accountability.
We don't all get honorable mention.
No, we do not. But
Sure.
it's the accountability. I mean, that's huge. And, you know, so many times we don't want accountability. But honestly, you guys, if you are truly ready to grow and move, accountability can be like your best friend. Definitely. Yeah. So Christina, what were you gonna say a minute ago?
Oh, you just said, you said, do you know whose it is? I'm like, yeah, I know what mine is.
Oh, okay. Okay, so another way to look at this, you guys, is we may know what to do, like booking, we know what to do. You may even know when to do it, like we're talking about, you plug it in. And the third question you can ask yourself is, are you willing to do it? Okay, so you know what to do, when to do it. In fact, y'all can all probably stutter all that back to me. I know what to do, I know, you know, book this, you know, contact this many to get this many bookings. You can even tell me, oh, I'm gonna go home and do it tomorrow between 7 and 9, right? And then the third question is, are you willing to do it? And only you guys can answer that.
I think I'm still at the skill part.
Okay, the skills. Okay,
I still haven't gone all the way through
gotcha.
NPU and all that kind of stuff. I spend time on it every day, but I haven't finished.
Gotcha. Well, and as far as the MKU goes, I believe there's one section on booking. So there's only one section. And just like you've been doing like the skincare class, what's like the best way to learn?
Do it.
Yeah, is to do it. So I did want to touch base on as far as the actual booking. So there's scripts. Okay, I'm not going to go over and give y'all scripts. I actually had this put into your tracking notebook. It was in the back of that, so I just included it in mine. And so, but I do want to just spend the one time, because I don't think we've talked about it. We do have new people. These little sheets here that are inside our tracking notebook, we're still using those. I know y'all are using the bubble sheets. So with this, you guys, the idea, and if you want to pull up the statistics on booking and contacting people, it's under the Booking 101. It's on our resource center. If you go under bookings and you pull up the whole booking packet, it'll give you all the stats of why we contact people 2, 4, 6, 8 times before we let them go. Is that, what is that?
It's the beginning of our book, Kelly.
Oh, okay, she included it. So here's the stats. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. 48% of people never follow up. 25% of people make a second contact and then stop. I'll be honest, you guys, when I was brand new, when I was a new consultant, I would contact one person and I was done. That's on to the next person. Do you know how much
So many leads.
do you know how much I left on the table?
Yeah.
Or I could have been a doctor, like, I mean, who knows what I could have done. 25% of people make the second contact. 12% people make 3 contacts and then stop. 10% make more than, 10% make more than 3. 2% of sales are made on the first contact, only 2% on contact number 1. 3% of sales are made on the second contact. 5% of sales are made on the third contact. This is crazy. 10% of sales are made on the fourth contact. And then it jumps, y'all, on the 5th to 12th contact, 80% of sales are made. I mean, that's huge. If y'all
Like
just
a stalker,
if I reach out to somebody 12
Yeah.
times.
I know.
yeah.
Hearing that
And you are not.
You are on point. I feel like a stalker. And I'm DIQ right now, so I really feel stalkerish real bad right now.
if you use the script,
I'm using the script.
you're not a stalker.
I feel like
You are a professional. You are, in fact, I thought about grabbing that book. There's a GoPro book.
Got it.
It-
Reading it.
You are a professional, Megan. By following through, working your contacts, doing your scripts, flipping from phone call to text message. This is our booking plan. And by you following it, using these words, you are a professional booker. You're not a stalker. You're no longer allowed to say that. If y'all hear her saying that she's a stalker, you need to slap her hand.
Cancel, cancel, cancel.
Yeah, because the more you tell yourself that, the more you're gonna think that. And I remember, y'all, if I had this plan in place, like I don't know when it came out, but I was like, this is a game changer for me and how I looked at booking. Because y'all, just because I taught school and I hated the phone. Like the phone was like a 50-pound weight. Like I hated the phone. And I had scripts. We had flashcards. And if they said yes, you flipped it over. If they said no, you go to the next card. I mean, we had flashcards that I would follow on the phone. But I was willing to do it because I wanted out of my position that bad. So I was willing to do whatever I had to do. But I was never taught to do it more than like to follow up with people this many times with this type of system. And those stats were actually taken from somebody that it was in the business world. So I mean, it was very, anyway, so it's huge. What were you gonna ask a question?
No, to go along with like the stalker thing.
Yeah.
I feel like whenever you tell them like, oh, I'll be in contact with you again a few days before your booking or whatever that you have scheduled, it's like more comfortable.
Exactly. And yeah, that was the same thing with the skincare class. Like I hated doing the individual appointments, but it was because I never warned them at the beginning. And then I felt like this crazy lady trying to pull them aside, and they were looking at me weird because I had never forewarned them what was going to happen. It's the same thing with the booking, yes. So when you forewarn them, like you're not leaving the ball on their side of the court going, call me back. If you say call me back and then you call him, then yes, you could feel like a stalker. But as long as you're using the script and you're saying, hey girl, if I don't hear from you, I'll try you back in a couple days. Then you have left it open to where you're being professional and you follow up, because whose business is it? It's our business. It's not their business. It's not as near as important to them as it is to us.
If you follow that one, I think it gets you through 6 or
It's
8
6 days. It's
6
days.
contacts. And so you're on your thing, there's 8 available. But that just means like if you literally went through all 8 of them or all 6 of them and never heard back from them, and then 2 months later you went back and called them again, and you were like, I never heard from you. You must have been really busy, hoping that it's a better time for you now.
Yeah.
Like it's been a couple months, and like I put myself in other position. Like if I had a person trying to get me to book something with them, like I have friends that do other stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm so busy, I don't even know that 3 months has gone by. They call seriously, like they call me again. They're like, oh right, like I seriously have been trying to get together with a friend I used to teach with since January, and we have yet to have a time where we can like both make time for each other.
Yeah.
So we each just reach out to each other every couple of weeks, and we're like, okay, let's try again. How about these dates? You know,
Yeah.
But it's not a big deal. Like, I don't think she hates me. I know she still wants to see me. You know?
Yeah. I was gonna say, it's not, and I remember reading through these, and when I read them the first time, I was like, wow, that is like, I just remember thinking a business professional person. And so I don't try to say other things. Like I stick to these. Where I personally get in trouble is where I start going just text. Mm-hmm. Or I just call and then I don't follow back up in these certain couple of days. And then I let 2 weeks go by and then I feel like I'm having to restart it. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? That's where I personally feel like I dropped the ball. And so so one of the things that has helped just recently, I'm trying to think of like your Mary Kay business, just like with whatever you do in life. You have a list of things that when you show up to work, those have to be done. What would happen if you show up to work and you decide, I don't really do any of those today? Fired. Okay, so let's take that same thing and relate that to our Mary Kay business, okay? You are part-time Mary Kay, yes. However, even if you're a part-time Okay, you work part-time at a restaurant. If you showed up and decided you didn't want to do what they wanted you to do for the day, you would be
Sent home.
fired. Okay, so even though we work very paid part-time, there are certain, and I would encourage you guys, what is it in your job description as a Mary Kay consultant that when you clock in your 2 to 5, 10 hours that you work each week, what should you be doing? When you clock in as a Mary Kay consultant, whether you work 2 hours a week or whether you work 20 hours a week, what does that job description look like? And the more specific you are, the more you can say, boom, got that, I did that. You could even, on our IPA sheet that we talked about a couple weeks ago, you could say, well, hello, actually, there it is, part-time, 5 of them. If you don't do 5 IPAs this week, you're fired. You can fire yourself and then you can rehire yourself. But, I mean, that's how we need to start looking and visualizing our Mary Kay business. Don't think, oh, I'm just part-time Mary Kay, so it doesn't matter. It does matter.
It matters more.
You can be an excellent part-time Mary Kay consultant on 5 hours a week, or you can be a crappy Mary Kay consultant on 5 hours. Same thing on somebody doing Mary Kay full-time for 25 hours a week. They could be a great Mary Kay consultant on 25 hours, but they could be crappy doing Facebook all day long. Okay? It goes both ways. And so I guess the other part is that when you're working for you would think that we would be more diligent for our own paycheck and working for ourselves.
Yes.
But it's the accountability, guys, that it goes back to every time. You're accountable to that boss. You're accountable to that coworker. You're accountable to that client. Wherever that paycheck's coming from. So if we can transfer that to the Mary Kay. So maybe that could get your brain thinking of how you could transfer that accountability over into your Mary Kay business. I'll tell you guys, when I was a brand new director, one of the things when I was a brand new director the whole first year, some people come out of directorship thinking, well, I'm a director, and they start doing director stuff, and they quit doing consultant work, and they can look up 6-8 months down the road, and there's like nobody behind them. Okay. They start playing director, and you're starting a director at 24, but you're not a real director at 24. I mean, you are. You have the title. I'm talking
Just so you know.
I'm talking the paycheck. I'm talking the
Mary Kay
paycheck.
said you had to have 50 before you had anybody to coach.
Right, before, because in fact, I saw a great, I'll have to find it big, it was just recently, like, if your unit size is this, then you are a director this many days, a consultant this many days. It was really good, it was really good, and so if your unit, it was at 100, if your unit's 100, then you could be a director 4 days, a consultant 1 day. Okay, but until then, you're gonna be more consultant days than director days. But one of the things that set me apart at the very get-go as a brand new director, people would ask me like, how are you doing so well? Or, and I'll be honest, you guys, it wasn't fun. My husband held over my head. I had to put the same amount of money that my teacher paycheck was into the bank account every month. He wasn't going to just let me quit and pretend Mary Kay. That was an income we had coming in. And at the time, I probably hated him for it. I don't remember. I was highly annoyed because he started asking me about the 10th because he was very safety, security minded and wanted that paycheck. And we got paid on the 25th. And so as a director, you know what you can calculate. You can know what your paycheck is by the 5th of the month. And so if my director check was short what I had to put in, guess what I had to do? I had to go out and sell products. I didn't get to sit at home and watch TV or eat bonbons or I don't know what else everybody was doing. Because I think Facebook I don't think was around. That's scary. I don't know what was around, but yeah. So I had to go sell products on Faces, and so that kept me out in the field as a brand new director.
Okay, so what is the humanity part of that? Because that applies to anything, right? Eating right, exercising, going to bed right on time. Isn't having an external, we'll do it with the external, but without it. Internal motivation to eat healthier because.
Whoa, really? Wait, you lost? You don't lost me.
Having an accountable. Your husband.
Oh, yes, my husband was holding
What
me
is
accountable.
it, and it's this human? Because if we can log time to be internally accountable too.
Oh,
In theory,
that's
the rest of
huge.
our life is rainbows.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, but what, you think it's just a human thing we have to get over?
No, I think it's a learned skill. I think it can totally be learned. I've done it. I've fallen off of it. I've come back to it. It's an ongoing process, I guess you could say, but it's definitely it's learnable. And I believe it first starts with being accountable to somebody else, and then you start transferring it to be by yourself. And you guys have probably heard from the stages of Mary Kay about how, you know, the top people, if they're speaking, you're only seeing the result.
That's right.
That person, what they did behind the scenes when nobody was looking, you would probably be shocked. And we don't know if they were being held accountable by somebody else or what systems they had set up. And I could probably trace back some of my biggest growth areas in my business was when I've been accountable to somebody, whether it was like a professional coach or whether it was I mean, I've done some stuff with nationals, even with just girlfriends that we both want to grow. I mean, that's where I've seen the bigger
Accountability part.
it's accountability.
Can I partially disagree with you?
Okay. As far as the learning part.
Yeah, well, the first thing I thought when you asked that was, well, two things. I think it made me think of scripture, that we're made perfect in weakness. And I think if we were already really great and we're able to do those things, that we would get cocky and think we don't need God.
Yeah.
So I think
Totally
that's to
agree.
keep us humble.
Right.
But then I had another thought. I don't remember. Okay, I don't know.
Well,
relationships, just being with other people. I think that almost like God made us that way so that we would seek out other people and build each other up. I mean, that's scripture too, that you're sharpening each other.
Yeah.
So I think it's really that you just need to have those people in your life and seek those people out.
You know, now that you're saying that, y'all, when I earned my first car, it was another girl. Like she went on target for her car, I went on target for my car. No, it was vice versa. I went on target for mine, and she went on target for hers. She became a director in March. I was like, by golly, she's not gonna be a director and I'm not. And so that in a sense was accountability. I mean, it was connected with people. Yeah. Yeah. But I was gonna say that you're never there, and as soon as you think you're there,
Watch out.
Yeah, watch out, because that's when you like get knocked off the mountaintop and you gotta restart again. And that's with everything, just like you said, diet, exercise, being consistent with your Mary Kay business. It's a constant back and forth.
Well, and going back to my Christian thing, my favorite verse is that God's not his spirit timidity, but spirit power and self-discipline. So we have the self-discipline. We just need to do it. But we're naturally.
It's a gift, right? It's a fruit of the spirit. So.
So you can even ask him to fill you with more self-discipline. What can I do? Yeah, and one of my prayers is always just give me the wisdom to make the right choice, the right decision, and at the time, or just, show me, reveal to me, and then, because then to me, it's like black and white. I am choosing to either do it or not do it.
Sure.
And to me, that's when I can see the black and white, then I knowingly know which
You're more
choice I make.
conscious of it.
Yeah. And then I only have myself to blame. And part of that, I think, is taking full responsibility. So going back to the question, you guys know what to do, or you're learning what to do. You know when to do it. You can fit it into your calendar. We all can fit it in. And as far as fitting it in, remember, we always fit in what we want to fit in. Yes. I mean, yeah. So like, when we're excited about something and we want to do something, we can fit it in. We figure out a way. We are women. We can figure things out. So we could all, know when, but it's just that willing part. And that's, I believe, with what the work we did last week on the whys behind your goal setting, if you're not clear, and y'all, that is, we're reading a book of directors of Jill Moore, National Sales Director, and I can't get past the first section. It's all in clarity. It's all in clarity, y'all. One of the biggest habits of successful people is they are highly clear on where they're going, what type of person they are, they want to be. They're looking to the future. They're crystal clear on where they're headed. And if you're not crystal clear on where you're headed, we're probably going to continue to get stepped up on the bookings because it doesn't matter. They don't matter that much. What do you think about it? And the more you got your brain wrapped around where you're headed and you're clear on it, you're like, oh, I can see that vacation. I can see getting on that cruise. And I can see my husband getting on it with me. Then you're not gonna have to talk yourself into doing the bookings. You're gonna want to do the bookings because you know it's taking you where you want to go. Yeah. So these are all progressing in order, our topics. So if you haven't done last week's questions, you guys, and getting really crystal clear, I would highly, highly recommend that because that could totally flip your view of bookings. Yeah, it could really flip that. Okay, so back to back to the skills. Phone call, text.
Same thing.
Same day. It makes a difference. It really does. And those of you guys who work full-time jobs, y'all, I even do this at home sometimes. I will purposely go through and make the phone calls during the day when I think they're at work or won't answer. So I can leave the voicemail and it's really fast to just knock them out. Sometimes I drive around 9, 10 in the morning or like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And then I will purposely, when in the evening times, if I'm sitting at a kid's practice or just sitting around the table while my little one's doing homework, then I can shoot out the text messages later. And usually I tell you, like 8 out of 10 times they'll respond to the text message. Go, oh, I got your message earlier.
So you don't do it immediately?
Okay. Yep. Yeah, that was a huge, when I made that little tweak. So yeah, day 1, and then we can say 3 or 4, and then so on is how that works. Okay. So that's all I was going to touch on as far as like skill, but there are, the NP University, there's a section on booking, and then the scripts. There's so many scripts, print out one, stick to it. And then I think we're pretty good about posting scripts too, so you can find stuff at our Facebook as well. Okay, so that was the skill on the actual booking. Time management is a whole other topic that I think we'll get to later. Okay, so the correct booking approach. I'm sorry, I was reading tonight and I dropped. That's my copy, but it came across. I'll just take one and pass it. It was on the dining room table and I had my dish sitting there and I was trying to get the printer to go. It was a hot mess. Okay, so the correct, I know it's really thick paper. That's from Office Depot. That was the really cheap copies. All right, so the correct booking approach. How many of you guys have heard this before? When you're at an appointment, you're at a show, you're at it's basically a senior show where you got multiple people. You say, hey, Lauren, is there any reason why, let me back up. Lauren, at every show, I've always select at least 2 people to be my future hostesses.
I remember this.
So today, Lauren, I have totally selected you. So tell me, Lauren, is there any reason why when I come to do your checkup or your second appointment, we probably would say second appointment now versus checkup, that you couldn't have a couple friends join you and your friend, Mary, which is the current hostess, will actually win one of those 2 gifts. Remember the gifts I had on the table? She'll actually get one of those tonight. I think you'd be a great hostess.
Sure.
Have y'all heard those words so far?
I have. Yes, that was in the consultant's guide back before there was a computer to work.
When I read that, okay, so I had just done a party on Sunday, and I had specifically, because our new hostess planned, and if you read the fine print on the bottom right, they get to pick 2 hostess gifts, or no, a hostess gift if they have 2 bookings. And so I had already been talking about that at the table, and so I was kind of actually going, okay, we got 1 booking, who's gonna be the second one, kind of as a whole. But I was like, man, if I had remembered those exact words, I could have targeted to get this. I had like a half a booking, but I could have targeted that a little bit more specifically, like, hey, Mary Kate, told me to pick what is my future, always select a couple people for my future hostesses, and I totally picked you out today. And it's just making that person feel special. Yeah. And Mary, if you book, you're going to help Susie Q get that gift over there that was on the table that she wanted really bad.
That always gets me to help.
Yeah, so that little bit of friendly for
I like the last
pressure.
part. I think you would be great. I can just like hear her little voice saying
Yeah, I
people.
think you'd be great.
Everybody can tell me.
And then it
Look
says,
her eye.
it says, then be quiet and look into her right eye.
Is she?
Oh, her right eye.
right eye.
Oh, I didn't see
Have
that.
you ever noticed like when you look at somebody like
Oh, that's
eyeball
your
to
left.
eyeball, like it
Yeah.
does get a little uncomfortable, like just
Oh,
eyeball
it
to
does.
eyeball.
Yeah.
But when you ask the
Never
question, then
heard
you just look in their right eye and just wait. I have to say
Yeah.
that.
And I use that because if you
You're
have
looking
left
at it.
eye, that's when they're calling information, they're trying to get excuses. Which is like you tell someone's lying, they'll look to the left.
Your left or stage left?
I know, right? What are we doing?
Stage left.
So do you look at their right eye or?
I have not.
Or
ever
on
done
the
that.
I
Okay, so, and you look at the bottom of the paper though, it says get below her eye level. I would never ask Lauren like this to book with me.
Okay.
And if I do and I did pull him aside to do individual classes, I was sitting on a bar stool, she was sitting on a bar stool, so we're like the same level. I have done a lot of parties, you guys, where they're sitting in a chair and I just get down on the floor and I'm like on my knees. So you either went eyeball to eyeball or you went underneath them. I mean, that is huge. I taught
Yeah.
that, and that is definitely something. And I do like this when you say her name, touch her arm, like Lauren. Or if you're sitting right next to the person, you can just kind of gently reach out and just touch their arm. And that does
attention.
that does take confidence. And some of y'all are touchy-feely people, so that's a little bit more natural. That was not natural to me, but I will tell you that the more I do stuff like that, and especially use their name over and over, the more connected they are to you. That is huge. And so that is a skill. And if I can learn it, you can learn it.
They do, they just melt into you.
They do. And they connect to you. So even if they don't become a hostess, they're still connected to you, even as a customer. It really makes a difference to repeat their name over and over. So those little tips there down there at the bottom. Okay. So with this is in your hand now. And I know we're on the verge of getting lots of parties going right now. We might be starting off with some facials, some double facials, but then we're turning those into parties. So is everybody clear though on how to, like, are we doing good from bookings? So that's like another kind of soft skill. How are we, like, where are we dropping the ball on bookings from bookings? What was that? Asking. You're not asking at all?
No, you just asked.
Oh, you just asked. Do you book everybody for a second appointment? Jessica?
I'm a task analyst, so it feels so inefficient to me, so I guess it's just a mental block where it feels like it's a disrespect to their time as well as mine to book a second appointment, which I understand the logic of it, but I know it's just a mental.
My new team member, she didn't buy anything the first time. She came last week and she joined. Because I used to do that.
I did
Whoever
too.
taught me that you're supposed to book the second appointment, whether they bought a thing or
Really?
not. They'll bring their friends.
I
That's how you get them to be a party. It's,
Oh yeah. Like when I was a consultant, probably my first 5 years in the business, I gave everybody like everything from head to toe. They had no reason to get with me again. Guess how many customers stuck around with me? Very few. Very few. They didn't know me, and I was building my business from scratch, so I didn't have any friends to start with. And so I gave them everything, and they had no reason to see me again or talk to me again, or especially if they didn't buy anything first appointment. They'd already tried everything. They're gone.
I feel like with all of our masks, all the supplements that are like
Yeah.
really on trend and popular, there's
Yes.
so much you could do at
Yeah.
another.
Yeah, so just kind of briefly from bookings, if you get really good at the treatment section of your skincare class, where you offer them 2 treatments. They do one now, they do the second one at the second appointment.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, the first appointment, they do CC cream. You may hate CC cream tonight, which is fine, because at your second appointment, you'll get to try another foundation type.
Who hates CC cream? I don't think anybody.
Really?
yeah, I don't
You
know.
gotta
It's
it's
not
not
full.
but it's not my favorite.
It's sticky matte wear any day, anytime anyone that had.
Yeah.
Anytime
never
I've
had
had
anybody
anyone
hate
try
it.
matte wear, they always love it infinitely more because
Yeah.
it's more coverage, does more for you, and it's lighter.
It's lighter than
It
CC
is still
cream?
lighter.
Oh, so
Yeah.
much so.
So our colored moisturizer is heavier than our
Without a doubt.
foundation.
Without a doubt.
Especially for oily for oily.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
things I learned.
so definitely keep that. Those are my two go-tos to get the second appointment booked. And if for some reason they just don't want to do a second appointment, like and the other side that I was gonna say is not everybody's thrilled about color. And so if you only say color for the second appointment, if they don't want color, they're like, okay, see ya. Again, they don't have any reason to get with you. Are y'all done?
Are you willing to come in and review that?
I still have more training, or does anybody want to see lashes or brows?
No?
Okay, then we're good. We'll wrap up. Like 5 minutes or 3 minutes?
Oh, yeah, I think she's probably wanted to do that.
You done lashes now and brows?
They're not going in.
Okay. Like we'll be out there at 8.
Make sure Alec doesn't lock his room or something.
Really?
Okay, so what were we just talking about? Oh, the second appointment, yeah. And so the flip side I was gonna say is that for some reason they just don't want to book the second appointment. Ideally, guys, bring people to meetings as the second appointment here. Courtney's been doing a lot of that. 2 reasons for it. Number 1, we have all the foundations up here. So if somebody wants to try another foundation, you can get here early with your guests and you go match her on her own, and then she can try that specific foundation when we get to that part of the skincare class, okay? So utilize the training studio for your second appointment. The second, hold your thought. The second reason, before I forget my second reason, is y'all, when women walk into this meeting, and I've actually appreciated the fact that we flipped recognition to the end of the meeting. I really believe when we had recognition at the end of the meeting, we were scaring people off. Totally scaring people off. And if somebody has already had a facial with you, they come in here for a second appointment, and then we come out the end and do our little bit of recognition. Y'all, it has just made a difference in the connection of the guests, big time. People coming in here and seeing Mary Kay for the first time, and we're all crazy.
It's a little much.
It is a lot much.
And it can go wrong.
Yes,
Unfortunately.
yes.
I've got,
So,
Jessica was saying where it's like not respectful of time.
yes,
It was, when I first started, it was hard for me to bring people up here because I was like, oh my gosh, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes, we're going now, like, this is a school night,
Yeah.
we love kids, we're
Yeah.
jobs.
Okay.
We're jobs.
So that's
it,
booking from bookings. And if you don't like doing the phone call, the follow-up, you guys, you just gotta get really good at booking from your bookings. Do you realize that if you got so good at your bookings from your bookings, that your only phone time that you would have to do would be coaching, pre-profiling your guests?
The longest in 26 years I've ever gone is 4 months where I did not have to call anything.
How was that?
I loved it. I freaked out, really.
I love coaching. It's fun. All right, and so the last thing I was gonna say as far as booking, if for some reason somebody just, you know, we have the skills, we know what to do. We're gonna offer and try to work it the right way. It's not gonna always work the right way because we're with people, right? But as long as we have put forth our effort in doing what we know we should be doing, then you can walk away from it and say, I did what I was supposed to do. They just didn't want to see me again. We're good, and you can walk away from it. If for some reason somebody doesn't want to book a second appointment to try products, the second thing I would try is try to book a second appointment to do a career chat, a sharing, okay? Even if you think they're not interested, why would you waste your time to go talk to somebody that's totally not interested? They might change their mind.
You never know. They might know somebody.
The 2 people I know with the most beads around here are Pete Jonas and Frida. And they both tell everybody. They both tell everybody.
They might know somebody.
Okay, so that's awesome that y'all are all looking at that person, because that is technically what it's about. you never know, they could change their mind and they might become interested. But what does it do for you?
Yes.
Train you.
Confidence.
Yeah.
Confidence. It builds your confidence, big time. The more you do, the more you get comfortable with it. The more it becomes like natural, like what you've been doing something for 26 years. So if you can't book them for something else, and that's the script also on that paper that I just gave you, it's the next one. I would probably change it a little bit instead of saying help me with my management training. That sounds kind of old school. Help me with my, I'm moving up in my business, and in order to move up, I've got to share with. And people that,
So even like the people that just don't have time or don't want to at work or can't come after a school night, just run through a sharing appointment with them.
and you could book it, if you could book them at a Starbucks face-to-face, great. If they're still too busy for that, book them for a quick watch a video and do a 15-minute phone or like 10, 15-minute
Or an
call.
hour lunch break day. Just sitting around looking at each other.
And so tonight's topic is on just the booking, but I'm handing all of you guys an interview guide. And the reason for that is because part of our promotions here for October was the 5 guests and or the 5 sharing appointments. And it kind of dawned on me that I hadn't put this back in y'all's hand, like, how do you do a sharing appointment? Well, you guys are free to go do sharing appointments on your own. You should go do them on your own. It's really easy. Step 1, you do this. You ask these questions. Step 2, let me tell you a little bit about myself. Step 3, if I had only 5 minutes to share with you the facts about Mary Kay, what would you want to know? Ask them that question. These 2 parts here, you don't have to tell them all of this. Pick the top 2. And then you ask the closing questions. Okay? So super simple, 1 sheet of paper. For us, like earning our pearls, and I was thinking about Courtney, like, because I made a boo-boo. We had 5 people here on Sunday. We should have booked them all for career chats. You can go do all 5 career chats. And she's totally capable. You can do them over the phone. You can do them with them face-to-face. You go do your 5 sharing. You go do your 5. You go do your 5. And then just turn these in. And then I'll follow up with them for your pearls. Okay. Yeah. And so
we just
I
fill that out and then.
Yeah. You're not going to hand it to them to fill out. No. You fill it out and you go
to
along.
give to you.
Yeah.
You know what clothes for the botanicals yet?
No, it's in process.
Okay, I didn't know if it was done
It's being
yet.
edited. Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to put that in your hand because if you're not booking the second facial appointment, you can book the second. Because again, you're in front of them again. That's the important part. If you do a facial with somebody, you do a share with somebody, and they don't want to become a consultant, that's fine. But the likelihood of them sticking with you as a customer, you guys, is higher because they have seen you now face-to-face or voice-to-voice twice. Okay? You've made a connection with them. And now you know some good stuff about them, so you've made a connection with them. Yeah.
Okay, so I think for like a tip for doing the second appointment.
Yes.
For the first appointment, I had to just use whatever came in my starter kit.
Okay.
So I didn't have a bunch of color. I didn't have everything. So I would just do what I had in my starter kit and be like, the second appointment, I'll have all my other stuff. So we can do this then. So you can try the other stuff. So they have to try those that I have now and they try the other stuff later.
Makes you do skincare first.
Yeah.
Only skincare.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you know what? If you find yourself
foundation,
not
washes.
doing really good with the second appointment, don't let them do any treatments. Which is what you were having to do because she didn't have charcoal mask and you didn't have microderm either, did you? Nope. And so she had to wait for that to come in before. So I mean, don't do a treatment and book them for their second appointment to do their treatment, their spa treatment. Oh, it's a back facial. And you have to think about how much more people would, yeah. Right, and they appreciate the fact that they're only there with you for 45. I mean, you're great, but people are busy.
We're busy.
A 45-minute facial, they're gonna want to get back with you again because they know you're not just wasting their time. Yeah.
We may not have time for this question, and
Yeah.
we can talk about it later.
Okay.
But at my last party, the very first person I sat down with in my one-on-one said, "So can I see your catalog?"
Hello, yeah.
And I went,
Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't have those with me.
Okay.
Do not pull out lookbooks at your appointment.
I'm a sucker. I just stopped writing this stuff.
Yeah, don't, and then you're not lying.
Can't lie, yeah.
Okay, because it just ground the party to a halt, because they
All
all,
passed around the
and I
book.
was just like, oh, what have I done?
I
I did not know what to do. I knew I wasn't supposed to give it to her, but I didn't know.
what the reason is why.
I didn't know
Yeah.
how not to.
Yeah.
I didn't know how not to.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And then if you had her profile card to her address, go put her on your
Sure.
shoulder.
Yeah. Or when you have this, guess what? I bring those lookbooks to the second appointment. Okay, so for so you guys please post questions, thoughts from last week, because we're supposed to like it's kind of like homework for your boss babe. So for this week for booking, you know what? If you guys just want to, I think it'd be really cool if y'all just popped into Facebook and just shared some thoughts on, you know, where maybe you're struggling, whether it's with the skill, whether it's with the time management, or if it's with the emotional part of booking. I mean, share that. I mean, just being real. Just, just being real, and maybe if you got a tip or something that that will help you push through that, or if you heard something tonight, or I don't know, just share some thoughts that might help you move through that. Or if it was more on the willing part, I mean, just share some of that stuff, and because we're all real, we're all feeling something.
Do y'all have those Tuesday nights studio camp?
Yes. Yes.
Come on in. I'm in y'all's. I'm in all. I'm like, I gotta know.
You're fine with just one.
Oh yeah.
You can ask when needed.
So you really did the full shebang for the first 5 years, and then stopped, like facial wise, and then just didn't follow
Have
up.
color and everything.
Oh yeah, girl.
You're fast, you talk fast, so you were just doing it fast, I guess.
Okay, so all the skills that we learn as consultants, from the opening of the skincare class to the table close, to the individual close, yes, the booking the second appointment. I guess I just thought that my way was, part of it was probably because I wasn't confident. And so I was just going to kind of like water it down and do my way. So I literally, y'all, it took me like going through each of those skills and learning, like, okay, I got this one down. And now I had to go back and learn the next one. And I also used a story that I had, I was really excited. I had the party with like 10 women. It was out in Ponder, Texas. I was so excited. My husband had somehow helped me get to know this girl at his work. And they were doing margaritas and makeovers. And I told her you had to do the margaritas at the end. And so she was cool. And 10 women. I was like, I'm gonna do the individual close. I'm gonna do this right. And so at the very end, I'm closing everybody. And I was like, oh wow, she just bought $100 set, like in my head. Oh my gosh, another $100 set. Holy cow, I just sold, because I was like making sure I was selling sets and doing my individual close. That was my goal for that party. And then I was like, holy cow, another 100. And I'm like adding it up. And I was so excited, we're whipping out the margaritas, and they stayed in whatever. And I was driving home, and I was like, I think I just had a $1,000 party. And sure enough, I'm adding it up in my head as I'm driving down I-35 back to Fort Worth. So we lived off Western Center. And then all of a sudden, about halfway down I-35, I'm like my heart just like it just dropped. Like all that excitement from my $1,000 party just went like way out the wazoo. Y'all realize, you know what I forgot?
You didn't get
referrals. Booking.
Oh,
I got
bookings,
famous.
no referrals.
I got no referrals and no dang bookings. And I'll tell you, I went back and tried to book them. Not one person would book them. And so let me tell you, that's where I realized like all that work, and that was the opportunity to bring in with my business. And I had just like, I mean, some of us have to learn the hard way. That's like a teenager having to learn the hard way. And so guess what? I won't forget that now.
Yeah, I know, right? I've already learned so many hard things.
All right, so tuning out for our booking night. Yay!